Alderman Ames.
Here.
Alderman Catalano. Alderman Catalano.
Here.
Alderman Curielli.
Here.
Alderman Jacob. Alderman Messina.
Here.
Alderman Sorrentino.
He's here.
Alderman Sismarski.
Here.
Alderman Woods.
Here.
And Mayor, please.
Here, I declare a quorum present. Please stand and join the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a motion to approve the November 4th, 2021 regular city council.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any comments, corrections, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That passes. Do any citizens wish to be heard on matters not listed on the agenda? Okay, no written communiques. This evening under Mayor's Report, recognition of George Ellison for service to the city and pension board. Who's going to take the lead? Mr. Anderson? Jordan?
Hi, my name's Jordan Anderson. As a number of you know, I retired back in August, but I'm here as the president of the Wooddale Pension Board. Just going to give you a little background. The Wooddale Pension Board consists of 5 people, 2 of which are active participants. One is Officer Walensky. She's not here today. The other active participant is me. And the reason I'm still considered an active participant, even though I retired, is I left retired during halfway through my term, so I can finish out my term until April 30th of 2022. So there's 2 active participants, 1 retiree, which is Frank Bunowitz in the audience over there. And we also have 2 participants that are appointed by the mayor. One is Sandra Porch, who's sitting in the background over there, and another one is George Ellison. What I just want to do is just talk a little bit about George Ellison, who's been a very good asset to the pension fund. He's always been there whenever we asked him. He's always been very insightful about what we need to do. Let me also tell you that we have an attorney, not a fund manager, I would say an attorney and a
Consultant?
financial consultant. Thank you. But George has always been there. He's always talked, to the various people that we've had on the board. He's always been insightful. He's always been very helpful. He's the type of person that would give the shirt off his back for you. He's the type of person that would help you at any time if you ever needed help. He'd give you his phone number, and say, hey, this is what I think. Do you think we should do this? But he's always been there for us. But what I'm doing here today, or what the board is doing here today, I want to present George with a plaque for his service, on the pension board. George got on the pension board. He was appointed back in 2004, and he retired in October of 2021. So in 2004, our pension fund was at about $12 million, and today it's at about a little over $35 million. So he was a big part of the pension board, investing the money and determining and making a lot of different decisions, with the pension board. If I can have the other pension members, Frank Bunowitz and Sandra Porch, come on up here. George, you want to stand up, or you just want to stay there? What do you want to do?
They don't fall down while I stand up.
This is in commemoration to George Ellison for his service with the Wooddale Police Pension Fund and the City of Wooddale. Thank you very much, George. We appreciate it.
Well said.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
George, and thank you again from the council. We appreciate all the work, hard work.
I am going to leave because I don't care what you do now.
Good. I was going to say, it's really exciting if you want to stick around, otherwise you could go.
That's the George I know.
Maybe to see any cake.
Gotta go by.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you,
George.
George.
God bless you.
Okay, next. Chief, you have anything to say on the manager's report?
No, there's nothing from the manager's office.
Okay, thank you. Consent agenda. If no objections, we have 5 items on the consent agenda. I will entertain a motion for 5 items.
I'll make the motion.
I'd like to remove item 5 off the consent agenda, Mayor.
So okay, so you want to, there is an objection.
There is an objection.
Okay. Let's see, under other business. Item number 5. Okay, so we have 4 remaining items on the consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes. Now I need a motion to approve the item on the agenda. Item number 1, a resolution approving an agreement between the City of Wooddale and Baxter and Woodman Incorporated for engineering services for Foster Avenue resurfacing in an amount not to exceed $39,881. Item number 2, a resolution approving an intergovernmental agreement with the State of Illinois and the City of Wooddale appropriating funds for the Foster Avenue, Central Avenue to Spruce Avenue resurfacing improvements. Item number 3, approval of a replacement of Public Works Vehicle number 514-088 in an amount not to exceed $67,000 from Northwest Municipal Conference Suburban Purchasing Cooperative. Item number 4, a resolution of inducement to redevelop certain property in the City of Wooddale, Illinois, and finance the same.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Need a roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes. Next, committee chairman reports, planning and zoning, Alderman Woods.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public health and safety, Alderman Sismarski.
No report. Oh, I'm sorry, I do have one. The ordinance declaring property owned by the city of Wooddale for surplus for the purpose of selling. That's my motion.
Second.
Any comments or corrections? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes. That conclude your
That
report?
concludes my report, Mayor.
Thank you. Public Works Committee, Alderman Messina.
Yeah, ironically, the same one. An ordinance declaring property owned by the City of Wooddale surplus for the purpose of selling. That's my motion.
Second.
Okay, any questions on this? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
And that passes.
Yes, that concludes my report.
Thank you. Finance and Administration, Alderman Catalano.
No report, Mayor.
Thank you. Under other business, we will go back to item number 5. Need a motion to approve a resolution to approve a 5-year extension of the contract between the City of Wooddale and Flood Brothers Disposal Company for municipal solid waste recycling and landscape waste.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have questions? Alderman Messina, go ahead.
I'm going to move this down a little bit. So obviously last week or 2 weeks ago, I was back and forth on this, right? Sat here, have thought of a lot of things, still have questions, talked to a couple of the board members too. So if it's okay, I had some questions and then I had some comments, Mayor, if that's possible.
Go ahead with the questions.
I still haven't gotten a very clear answer, maybe this is for Mrs. Buggy, around the carts. Do we own the carts? Do we not? And if we...
Mr. Bond.
Okay.
Yeah, the city does not. All the containers, per the original contract, all containers were the property of the contractor.
So even though they're city branded,
ahead.
even though they're city branded, they would go back to the contractor and we would have to,
Go ahead, finish the
Yes.
statement.
and the person that would win, which could also be Flood Brothers, would have to provide that, correct?
Yes, so before Flood Brothers, we had, I think Republic won the bid, or ARC won the bid, they were bought out by Republic, whatever.
Republic.
Those carts were also branded.
Okay, so whoever it is that would win would
Right.
provide them, okay. The other thing that I pointed out as I started digging in here, I know there was a lot of talk, so my big thing is sole source, right? To me, this is what I would justify as a sole source bid. And when you do a sole source bid, there's got to be something you do that no one else can do, essentially. We run into this all the time in technology. So I know not everybody, stop myself, some folks had mentioned the idea of bulk brush collection. When I went through this, by no means do they actually do the brush pickup. In fact, it actually says they will provide $6,500 to assist in the cost of the city's annual bulk brush pickup service. So I just want to confirm, they do not actually do our
They do
brush-
not.
Okay. So in my opinion, that's just, one reason that doesn't meet that criteria or that threshold, in my mind, for sole source rather. My other notes, and being reamed out by a few residents, let's start with, one, and this is my observation. We just went out for RFP for stormwater professional services. Is that accurate, Mrs. Buggy? Okay.
Yes, she's nodding yes.
Okay. Much smaller contract.
Go ahead, Ms. Buggy.
Okay.
You have to go to the microphone, I'm sorry.
Sorry. Yep. I know there was a lot of talk too about the increases, and I know we talked about how there wouldn't be any increases, and when there eventually when there are increases in year, let's just call it 23 onward, that the city would absorb some of that cost. Mayor,
You're talking about to the residents or to
to the
city?
residents, right? The increase to the residents.
During this contract, we should not have to raise once at all.
Right, but
Go ahead.
Flood Brothers' contract is raising they are raising the cost to the city.
To the city,
Is that
like-
accurate?
like-
Yes.
yes.
Maybe it's Kate.
Yes, that's true. I can answer that one.
That's correct. Okay, so the cost of the city goes up. We, the city, or I don't know, I didn't say we agreed to it, will be absorbing those costs so that we do not pass it on to the residents. Was that the consensus?
That's correct.
Okay. So the comment that I got from somebody was, this hits your residents right in their pocketbook. You owe it to them. So my parting comment to my fellow council members, as I thought more and more about this, is we're not excluding Flood Brothers from this bid, but we owe it to our residents, especially after 180 of them, albeit you can say some of them were chronic people. 180 residents had their water turned off. We're in the middle of COVID. I get it, there was a lot of research done by staff. But I have faith, as I told a lot of our residents, they've done a great job. This does not preclude them from bidding. Really, we owe it to our residents to let them take that one extra step. That's really what we are deciding is, do you want Flood Brothers to take an extra step and bid and open this up to the rest of the vendors? That concludes my questions, remarks. Thank you.
Thank you. And as far as the water shutoffs, the council voted to stop giving the free passes, so that's
They
why
did.
the water shut-offs.
Could I have just one comment?
No, we're
well-
not going to rebut back and forth.
Well, no, if we, could we-
That's what it was done for. I mean, you
I
said,
agree. I think one comment someone got brought up is, so I'm gonna stop with my comments because I feel like everybody, they hear it out there, and then there's all these other comments and people forget what the root of this is. Do you feel that Flood Brothers should have to take the extra step, or they get a pass? That's the root. You're gonna hear multiple other things that may throw you in 10 other directions, like what you're hearing up here. That's the question at hand, because I felt like when people kept asking me, they said, how did you start on one topic and then everybody else is talking about all these other topics to confuse the rest of your board? So if we can just, I would rather call the vote to question and vote, or if other people have questions, but if we're gonna sit up here and everyone's gonna throw random facts
No,
out,
we're
I mean,
not.
you've just confirmed all the facts. I mean,
Correct.
everything we've said is fair, and before anybody
Except-
else starts
except
throwing
for
out
the water
random
shutoffs.
comments to confuse people,
only the water shutoffs was incorrect.
I didn't.
That was a council decision, by the way.
But there was 180.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Alderman Sismarski.
Yeah, I'd just like to know, where in the contract, or can it be added into the contract, the legal wording for the city to breach contract at any given time,
Mr. Bond.
under performance or under any umbrella
Go ahead, Mr.
problems
Bond.
that could arise?
Yeah, well, the city wouldn't breach the contract, but in the event the
Well-
vendor does, there's a provision in the contract already that gives the city the right, and the city reserves the right to terminate the agreement upon notice. The agreement also, if there's specific performance, the notice provision is shortened for that. So the city retains that right. In the event that there's any breach of the terms of the agreement, the city has a contractual right to terminate that as well.
Follow-up?
I have a second question.
Go ahead.
I think Flood Brothers would have to answer this. What is the cost of the RFID program? The chip program?
What chip program?
The contract says we have RFID chips in is that a
Is
carryover
that
cost
something
into
in
the
the-
city, or is that added into the bundle, or?
Where is it in the contract?
I don't know, there's a huge contract.
Well-
I didn't write it off, but it's on there, it says RFID.
I don't
program.
recall any chips in the garbage cans.
Okay.
There was a
Ms.
comment
Buggy
made
said,
about
Last
tracking.
week, yes, they are in there.
Go ahead, Kate, do you know where it is in the contract?
So I spoke with Michael Flood about this issue. There are RFID chips in there. They do certain things. I do not know the cost of.
In the cans?
But they're not part of the contract, that's the
It's
question.
not part of
Well,
the
The
contract.
cost has got to be carried over to somebody.
No,
Is it
they're
at
not.
Is it at their expense or our expense?
Hold on, let her answer the question.
I'm sorry, yeah, it is not mentioned in the contract, but they are included in the cans.
Okay. Any other questions? Alderman Currielli.
I have one comment. I'm not sure that those RFIDs are needed for the type of service that we have if you're doing individual billing, but it doesn't really matter. I think the contract is a very good one. I liked it. I think it's just what I would like to see. My only issue is that we pay some $72,000 a month, and I would prefer that we take the practice of sending these things out for bid, just as a general practice, rather than leaving it up to the council's discretion at every time we have a new contract. We're going to accept the old one or modified, or do we go out for bid? I think it would be better practice to always go out for bid.
Well, we don't always go out for bid. We did Clark Mosquito, we did Sickage, we didn't go out for bid. So, we do go out for bid, especially if we know the contract's no good. That's a for sure.
And just might say that's. the
And
clerk
then,
is a
and then we
good
do look at
example.
comparables to see how our contracts stack up against other communities.
Right.
All right, any other questions? Alderman Woods?
Yeah. So generally, I would agree that we should go out for bid in service contract. It's a general practice. We've done this in engineering and accounting, finance, different areas. Part of the concept there is to develop that relationship, and there's inherent cost savings, not tossing out a service person every time. That being said, Flood had the right under their contract to offer us a bid. The bid they offered was a good bid, based on all the ones that I read. They're way below what other people are offering, giving the cost of all the services, whether they pick up the brush themselves or pay the $6,500, $6,700, and that's a month that they pay.
Per occurrence, not
Per,
monthly.
right, per occurrence,
6 of them.
for 6
Yep.
of them.
Which any other.
One at a time.
Would do.
One
as
at a
well.
time.
It's not a,
Right.
so,
I let you talk,
that's
okay?
fine. Yeah, no, I just want to be clear.
One at a time.
I just want to be clear.
And I
Okay,
let you talk.
go ahead.
So, I think that we're getting a good deal, and there was a statement, we're giving them a free ride. Well, they've been here for 5 years, they've worked for us, they've done a good job. Kate Buggy, the director of Buggy, told us there was 100 complaints. If you divide that into 5 years, right, times 52 weeks, times how many residents? 5,000? What's that number? 1 million something? So 100 complaints and 1 million occurrences, I think is a pretty good record. So they've served us well, and the price they gave us was a good price, looking at all the other prices in the market. So I think it's a fair thing. Generally, I would agree with going out to bid, but given the contract the way it was set up and that it is a service, they came back, they gave us a good thing, they added, there was no increase in the price the first year, and they added extra services to it. It's kind of a win-win, so.
All right. Any other comments?
I
Alderman
just wanted to
Carielli?
comment back. Yeah, I do think it's an excellent contract. There's no doubt about that. But still, I mean, considering their service, that gives them a leg up in a competitive bid situation because they're a known quantity. But I think we need to always go out there and see what's happening. Because you could your vendors could become compliant or complacent rather over time. And that we need to guard against that.
Mayor.
Well, we won't let them be complacent. Alderman Messina, you had a follow-up?
Yeah,
Different comment? Go ahead.
Well, I don't know what Mike just handed me, but this is regarding the RFID, which is here. So it's not my comment, but it is here, that the cans would have RFIDs if you want to pass them along. I just going to piggyback off Mike's comment and just, and hopefully end it there. If someone can tell me who is in favor of it, what are we losing by not going to bid? We have a bid. We're asking for an extra step. We're not disqualifying them. I'll leave it at that.
All right. Any other comments? Otherwise, we'll go to vote. Alderman Catalano.
If this fails and they have to go out to bid, is it fair now because it's going to be an open bid? I mean, normally, shouldn't it be closed bids?
Yeah, everybody knows that when they're putting a bid, Tony, so.
So,
So you're going to get this or better? You're not going to get worse.
So,
Again, you don't know that.
you don't know. that.
you don't never know what
Do you
happens in a
think
bid.
somebody's going to give us worse than
You, again, we're not going to
Yeah.
debate this. If there's no other comments, call the vote.
Alderman Ames.
Well, what is the vote
It's to approve the contract.
to approve the contract?
Yes. Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Carielli.
No.
Alderman Messina.
No.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
No.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
You can call me too.
Mayor, please.
Yes,
You don't vote.
that passes. Okay.
Who was the A's on that?
4-3.
Next,
Was it Lynn or?
Next, nothing under airport noise or stormwater. Approval of listed bills.
I'd like to entertain a motion to approve the list of bills for November 18th, 2021.
Second.
For $1,295,438.84, and that is my motion.
Second.
Questions, comments, corrections? Roll call.
Alderman Ames.
Yes.
Alderman Catalano.
Yes.
Alderman Currielli.
Yes.
Alderman Messina.
Yes.
Alderman Sorrentino.
Yes.
Alderman Sismarski.
Yes.
Alderman Woods.
Yes.
Okay, and that passes.
And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. No executive session, no items to be referred. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.